Look at this awful fly-tipped mess. And that's right outside the gates of my allotment. This is one of the broken polytunnels from the last storm. And all he's done is put a few bricks back on and tried to cable tie a few things. I got a feeling if we get strong winds tonight that might blow over again. He's going to have to do a better fix. Good luck to him. So I'm going to trim just along the edge by my fence. The plot neighbour's done-ish most of the main path, but yeah, it needs just a little bit of a trim before it gets too long. So here's my pond, and here's one of the pond plants, but it looks quite dead. But if I look closely down the bottom, it's green. So my thought is, if I trim the trim the plant back, it should grow okay and it won't look half dead, like you do with herbaceous grasses. You know, you trim back and then it springs up a lot of new growth in the earth for normal, you know, in the soil grasses. So I have no idea if it's the right thing to do, but that's what I'm going to try. Well, that felt a bit gross, but hopefully it will do the plant some good, as long as I haven't killed the plants off. I just left what I pulled out on the side just in case there is any wildlife in there, so it can crawl back in. Anyway, on with planning and construction. Look, the ladybirds are already out. It's not doing much. I think it's a bit cold. Well, earlier on I said that polytunnel was gonna not like the wind. So that fly-tipped stuff in front of the gates has been there a week now, and it's been added to. I think 2 people have reported it to the council, and it's still not been cleared yet. So none of us can actually drive into the site. Oh well, eventually it'll get cleared. But we regularly get people fly tipping because there's no houses directly opposite the site. It's down a lane. So there's no cameras, so nobody ever gets caught. Oh well, on with the work. I noticed my fritilia have come up and flowered. And there's some nice, what is that, primrose behind? They look pretty. So yesterday I sowed some Roma, some Marmande, Moneymaker and Cherry. So Moneymaker and Cherry are both vine ones, and the Roma and Marmande is bush tomatoes. So there's 2 seeds in each section, so I should have about 12 plants of each if they all come up. We'll see if they come up, but I was thinking, is that enough? But actually, yeah, you're talking over 40 plants if most of them come up, so that should be enough. And I also sowed some Swiss chard, spinach matador, celery red giant, celery, some sort of green one, celeriac, and some fennel. And the rest of my brassicas, some of them, I think I need to pot them on. They're getting a bit floppy. So I didn't get done today what I planned. I wanted to go down the allotment and work on stuff there, but that didn't happen. So I got my son to cut the grass, and I've been weeding and pruning in the flower beds. Still got a lot more to do, but if I want to plant out the bulb things I've bought, then I need space to put them. It also needs a spring weed anyway, but it always just takes so much longer than you think it's going to take. So I guess tomorrow I'll probably be in the back garden again instead of down the plot. But it all needs the work. Bye for now. Morning. So it's a bit colder today, but it's still bright. I think it's a high of 12 or 13. This is Good Friday, and I'm gonna pot on my brassicas. So these broccoli are getting a bit long, some of them a bit floppy. I'm not quite ready to plant them out on the plot, so I'm gonna put them into slightly bigger pots. You can see it's a good time to pot on because there's a nice root growth, but it's not pot bound, so it's just right for moving on. So I've been repotting for a few hours. Let me show you my progress. So that's the kale, Nero di Tosca. Then you've got over there early Brussels sprout, kalettes here, purple sprouting broccoli here. That is, I believe, let's have a look at the label, I think it's a cabbage. No, it's cauliflower. Then up in this corner is broccoli. This is kohlrabi, and right in front of me is cabbage. I still have to put on the spinach, but that's all the brassicas that I sowed, what was it, late February, early March? I think it was early March. So although I could have planted them straight out, I found in previous years if I plant it out and it's a small plant, the slugs will get to it. So I'm just growing them on that little bit more at home before I plant them out at the allotment. And then hopefully they'll survive and the slugs won't take them out. Look at this gorgeous weather. I thought it was supposed to be cooler today. I guess yes, it is a little, but it's still lovely. But yeah, I'm going to go in for a drink and then crack on with the last of the potting on. What are you up to today? Well, I managed to fit them all in to the greenhouse that I repotted. This is why I started the brassicas off early. So my thought is, if I leave them in these pots for maybe a couple more weeks, then they can go out. And in the next, probably be about a week's time, I'll start my tender stuff. I've already started tomatoes, but once this cold snaps over, then I'll start all the other tender stuff. And that's when I'll really need the space in here. So it'll be good that the brassicas will be moved on by then. How do you juggle space in the greenhouse? So the plum tree is in flower. Amber! And the damson tree. So it's Saturday the 3rd of April, and although it feels quite nice and warm in the greenhouse now, I'm worried about the nighttime temperatures over the next 2 weeks. So I'm going to move my sweet peppers onto the windowsills in the house. And hopefully they will survive, because it doesn't look good for nighttime temperatures for a good 2 weeks. Let's see how I go. So I'm cutting up all these branches from a tree we cut down into little bits so we can burn them. It's taken ages, but it's a job that needs doing. there's plenty still to do around the garden. Okay, time to tackle this area. I need to cut back the brambles, then build a framework for my grapevine to climb over so that I can control it. And that way I might actually get a harvest. But I've been meaning to do it for a few years. Well, probably more than a few. But it's one of those jobs that keeps getting put off. So I'm going to tackle it, or start tackling it today. We'll see if I get finished. Well, that's enough for today. Let me show you what my husband and I have managed to do today. Now that was a ash trunk that went up to about my chest level, and he's managed to cut it down to the ground. Let me show you what I've been doing. Around the corner of this greenhouse, I have built this framework and tied in. This is my grapevine. So I should be able to keep it under control. Okay, I've still got to build a framework all the way along here, but that is a lot better than it scrambling around on the ground. And I just got to tidy up down here a little bit more, and then put some black plastic over to stop any weeds coming up. And this is what it looks like from the front now. So it's a lot more tidy, more controlled. So I hope you had a nice Saturday doing gardening, allotment, or at home. But I'm tired and I'm stopping for now. So bye for now. Thanks for watching. Bye.